Well, it's here again, Constitutional Crisis Channel, and this would be a relatively quick little video, what somebody else I've listened to over the years might call food for thought and grounds for further research. As I have a letter here, I'll show you momentarily, from a guy who spent some time with researching when I was in San Jose. They have a really good law library down there. We've got a pretty good one here too, but that one is just bigger. It's 3 stories. And when I took my friends that were visiting me from Idaho in there, I said, hey, take a look at this. They were all stunned. Because the law library up there wasn't a whole lot bigger than my toilet, and it had about the same collection of books in it. So they saw this and said, my God, this is paradise compared to that. Anyway, we were talking. A.R. Sandoval is his name, Alex R. Sandoval. And he was in the middle of his own fight with the tax boys, the IRS. And he had just gotten a letter back from them that he asked for certain information for them to provide him, and they couldn't do it. He basically wanted to know, in effect, was he a quote-unquote taxpayer? It didn't come out quite that way, but the net effect is the same, and he wrote them, and you have a right to do this, and asked for all the documentary evidence they had to determine that he was a quote-unquote person required to file a W-4. The answer he gets back, you wouldn't believe it unless you see it, but it's great bureaucratese. And the IRS answers him by saying that the service's determination that you are a person required to file a W-4 is not memorialized in documentary form. We ain't got one. How the hell do they know what it is, who's required and who isn't required? And I swear if you didn't see stuff like this, you wouldn't believe it. But the section that's underlined here where my fingers are, it says exactly that. Not memorialized in documentary form. How important is this? Well, as you'll see, you compare this to some decisions, a couple of them from the U.S. Supreme Court and one from the Federal Court of Appeals. Now, we're going to start with the Court of Appeals case first. It's called BASS, B-A-S-S-B, United States, 784 Federal 2nd, 1282. And a tax conviction was reversed in Texas. I believe this is the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals on the grounds, and this is amazing because his attorney timely objected to the fact that the government hadn't proved that Bass was a quote-unquote employee within the meaning of 26 U.S.C. 3401. That's a key element of the crime, and the government hadn't proved it. They hadn't sustained their burden of proof to make a prima facie case, and this conviction got reversed. A historical note here, the author of this opinion, Edith Holland Jones, with this opinion, might have blown an opportunity to get appointed to the United States Supreme Court. She would have been the second woman on the court behind Sandra Day O'Connor. But with a loose cannon judge like this, quote-unquote, you can just see the conservatives in the Reagan administration probably said, we don't want to take any chances here. Because I understand at the time she was being considered, but this case alone might have knocked her out of it. But it was the right decision to make. And here we are 30 years later. And those of you who know how to go and look in Shepard's, you plug this case into Shepard's, you will not find a single case. Not one. 30 years. And this kind of case beats the IRS across the board, because if they can't prove that you're a person, as they're saying, required to file a W-4, or they can't prove you're a taxpayer, that's an element of the crime. And the Supreme Court has set a big case, one of the most important they ever decided, called Re Winship, W-I-N-S-H-I-P, 397 U.S. 358, that the government had the obligation, to prove each and every element of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt, or they can't get a conviction. This is the Supreme Court saying it. They said, in effect, the same thing. Another case is called Morrisette, M-O-R-R-I-S-E-T-T-E, versus United States, 342 U.S. 246, and pretty much said the same thing. If they can't make the case, the ballgame is over, because they can't prove it. That's exactly what I'm saying here. And this is a big deal. And I think I'm going to combine 2 videos, because the next one I was going to do, you might ask, why do I start in the traffic court? Well, the reason for that is that that's somewhat akin to what I hear the native tribesmen in Africa do when they go after elephants. They go after the soft underbelly first, knowing that a successful attack there will bring them down. That's what I'm doing here, and that's why the stakes are so high. Very few people on the other side appear to know that at this point, but it's the same issues. If we beat them in the traffic court, we beat them in the tax court. That's how it works. And that's how important it is. They're the same issues, and once we get the Supreme Court deciding against the traffic courts, they've all but handed us the victory in the tax court and gotten us out from under. That's how important it is, and that's why I'm doing this particular video. And you see, if you can find some way to reconcile these things, what I just told you, the IRS says not memorialized in documentary form, with the cases that I've given you, and they'll be in the notes below too, you can look them up. You tell me how you can make any sense of this. I sure as hell haven't been able to, and this is, like I say, 30 years later, that I'm still trying to figure it out. So hopefully this has been an interesting video. As always, I welcome comments, suggestions, and what have you. I'd love to hear it if you have some way to get around this. Thank you.